Welcome back to Bees In with Britt, my Bees In beauties, my friends, you guys. It's Taurus season. We've made it. I'm so excited as an earth sign. This is really going to feel like a great time. And for everybody, it really does usher in a shift of focus with this new season. So stick around because at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you your mini horoscope. You're going to want to listen for your sun and rising sign, and you'll be able to see what you need to focus on to make the most of this energy. It's a very luxurious, very material girl vibe. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, I had to break down oh my God, the toxic, I'm calling it the tainted love between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I have really been loving doing these breakdowns for different celebrity couples, but this one's going to be a little bit different because we're talking about toxic love. And trigger warning, if anybody shies away from some of the darker topics, there's definitely a lot going on as far as like their relationship dynamics. So I just want to put that out there before we get started because I'm going to go all the way in. You know me, I've got that Scorpio moon. I needed to uncover what the heck is going on with these two. Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation over a 2018 op-ed that she wrote in the Washington Post where she accused him of abuse. He lost a lot of work. There is so much going on and it's pretty crazy, you guys. Everything from Johnny Depp having a severed finger to there being feces on the bed to Amber Heard's assistant saying that Amber spit in her face. You guys, this is toxic. This is nuts. And I want us to uncover what astrology has to say about, number one, what drew these two together, because you guys, they met on the set of Rum Diaries in, I believe it was 2011 or 2012. Then they got married in 2015, divorced 2016. Amber filed citing domestic abuse. Now in 2022, here we are. First of all, this is good love gone bad. They were drawn to each other initially because they both have Venus in Taurus. Good Lord, you guys. Taurus is ruled by Venus, okay? So first of all, that's pretty intense. So to have a Venus in Taurus in your own birth chart, that's really intense. To meet someone with Venus in their birth chart and to start a romantic relationship, guys, that is romance out the wazoo. I mean, it's like a heady feeling. Like when I think about it, it makes me feel kind of dizzy. Do you know what I mean? Like just completely intoxicated, almost obsessive, because Taurus people, while they are lovers of luxury, beauty, and truly like abundance, like they can teach us all how to live. Like I love Taurus people for that. But too much of a good thing can turn into a bad thing. So in this relationship, I feel like it was extremely intoxicating, sucked both of them in, classic fatal attraction vibes. Now, let's move on to their Mars signs because Mars is also going to tell us a lot about a romantic relationship. So Mars not only tells you about how somebody expresses their passion, what drives them, what excites them, but it also tells you about the bedroom. And I'm going to tell you guys, Amber and Johnny have a compatible yet complicated Mars combination. Amber's Mars is in Capricorn. Wow. With everything that Johnny has said about her, it really checks out. So Mars in Capricorn people can be extremely strategic, driven, sometimes intimidating when they really want something. They're driven by success. So it came out during the trial that Johnny Depp said this in a text to one of his friends. You know, he realized that she was driven to be with him because of status. She's not showing me a lot of positive, okay? So I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Johnny Depp has his Mars in Virgo. People with their Mars in Virgo are driven and passionate about being a caretaker, a fixer. They can be very self-sacrificing. So they are people that, if they're not careful, can end up falling into these types of codependent dynamics where they are always saving someone. But yeah, he is really into damsel in distress vibes. And I think that Amber she comes across as very strong, but I also think that she can be very manipulative. We will talk about that in a second. When you look at the first two most important things when it comes to love, relationships, and attraction, you look at someone's Venus, you look at someone's Mars, they've got that, both of those like hook, line, and sinker, okay? So we've got both Venus in Taurus, extremely romantic, very compatible. We can completely see why they were drawn to each other. I'm sure a lot of romantic candlelit nights, a lot of, sweet nothings. I could see poetry, champagne, opulent surroundings, just truly like something out of a romance novel, okay? And then we look at their Mars energy. It's grounded, it's sexy. I'm gonna say that she's probably the more dominant one in the bedroom, like with that Capricorn Mars placement. That's interesting. Sexual astrology is interesting. Okay. So now we're gonna move from the positive to where it went wrong. Where did it all go wrong, guys? Because it's definitely gone wrong. The toxic aspects that we notice right off the bat, they're sun signs. Amber is a Taurus, Johnny is a Gemini. Geminis are witty and spontaneous, flexible, open. They're willing to change course. They're very curious individuals. They're also very intellectual and they love to have discussions and they're very much an on the move kind of energy. Okay, then we have, Amber's Taurus sun. That makes her someone who really does love structure and dependability. And I'm going to say because of all of her other Taurus placements in her chart, like that Taurus and Venus, not only does she love structure and dependability, she craves it. And I think she craves it to an unhealthy degree based on the things that are coming out in this, in this court case. So another thing, Taurus sun signs are very set in their ways, and it can border on stubbornness depending on, how evolved they are, their other placements in their chart. You guys, she has a very, very headstrong, very stubborn chart, okay? So when we look at their sun signs, we're looking at air versus earth. Earth is grounded. Air is like, all over, vast, filling up space. So Johnny wants to fill up all the space in the room, explore, talk to everyone, learn new things, be on the move. He feels fulfilled when he's learning, growing, sharing information, communicating. It's a very open energy. Taurus, that earth sign, she wants to be at home, relaxing. She really loves her creature comforts. She wants good food. She wants beautiful clothes. She wants to be in the penthouse. She wants the good life. He's a little more flexible, a little more open. He also has that Mars in Virgo, so more nurturing. He's not quite as, I'm just going to say, not quite as materialistic as Amber comes across through her chart. So now Mercury, and this is the worst one of all. It started to go wrong once they got past the candlelit dinners, the Venus energy, once they got past the bedroom chemistry, and they got into day to day, that sun sign aspect, air versus earth. Then comes their communication, their Mercury placement, you guys, the way they think, the way they communicate with one another. Ugh. Amber has her Mercury in Aries. Johnny has his Mercury in Taurus. Someone with their Mercury in Aries. So remember, you guys, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. They're all about me first energy. They have to explore. They have to also get to know themselves. They're really a me thinker, okay? They just are. So she's someone who really does think of herself first. And we can definitely see that, I think, throughout this trial. People with their Aries in Mercury can be very preoccupied with not being abandoned, they don't want to be abandoned. Now, what's interesting is in the depositions, it has come out that Amber would get really mad at Johnny when she would be fighting with him, kind of chasing him through the house, and he would be, trying to leave the room because he didn't want to engage, he didn't want to fight, and then she would accuse him of abandoning her. It's interesting to note that. And she does show preoccupation with abandonment. Okay, now it makes sense why she would be attracted to Johnny because Taurus is the most grounded, again, that structure, dependability. All of that is very evident in the way that he thinks and communicates. He's the kind of person that will let you know, hey, I'm going to be here for you no matter what. You can count on me. Someone who fears abandonment is going to feel very psychologically comforted by that. Now, when they fight though, when things aren't going well, when they start to, when she starts to want to stay home and have a candlelit dinner and go shopping and he wants to go hang out with musician friends, when they have a disagreement in those types of scenarios, we are looking at a situation of the ram versus the bull. Aries is the ram, Taurus is the bull. So you guys, it's a matter of equal strength, equal ability to stand their ground, and neither sign wanting to back down, which is why Aries and Taurus, those two are a very challenging combination. It takes two very evolved members of those sign tribes to be able to make it work because it takes a lot of communication and compromise on both sides. And neither sign is known for their strengths when it comes to compromising. So there's that. Now, why the heck did this happen? What is going on? Was this just, were they just drawn together to be toxic? Or are they just drawn together to be an example of like toxic astrology for us? No, you guys. So let's talk about it. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, learning about astrology and understanding people's birth charts, especially when the situations are so dramatically overblown, we're able to see how in astrology and in our birth charts, we have these choices. And one of the biggest choices is transcendence versus toxicity. Just let's use the Aries and Taurus Mercury combo that they have as an example. So when you have an Aries and a Taurus, and they get together in a room, they have a disagreement, there is an opportunity for both of them to either transcend their limitations and to grow as people, emotionally and intellectually mature. That is one path that both can take. The other path that both can take is the path of toxicity, which is where both just dig their heels in and they choose not to grow, not to transcend, but to really just double down on their weaknesses, double down on where they should be working on themselves, and instead chaos ensues, right? So that's where we get the toxicity. When we want to look at people's most toxic traits, you guys, I know, I warned you, this was going to be a toxic episode, okay? When we look at our most toxic traits, and we all have this, so pull it up or go listen to the podcast episode where I interviewed Lisa Tahir, who wrote a book all about Chiron. So interesting, you guys. Check that out if you're interested in Chiron energy. Look at where Chiron is in your birth chart. Okay, that will tell you your greatest weaknesses. It'll tell you your blind spots, and it will also tell you where you can grow as a person in order to transcend the most negative traits, transcend your weaknesses, become a better person, become a better human, and move towards your North Node, which is your destiny in this life. It's a really valuable thing to know. Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology. So once we learn and grow and we heal this part of ourselves, we have this amazing strength. It's like this warrior energy where we have slain the dragon in our own lives. It's the hero's journey. We've overcome the obstacle, and then we're able to walk back down the mountain and help others live our dreams, live our purpose more fully. It's really an amazing, beautiful energy in astrology. Amber has her Chiron in Gemini. That means that she has the wound and the blind spot of communication. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense based on everything that's been said, based on, how she's been accused of being emotionally and verbally abusive to Johnny Depp, which I do believe based on the evidence. I mean, oh my Lord, an unhealed Chiron in Gemini placement can be verbally abusive to others. They're also very much driven by their mind because Gemini is an air sign, right? Gemini rules communication, Mercury energy. So they're able to think very quickly. One of the doctors even said that, I think it was one of their couples counselors said in court that Amber would just jackhammer Johnny with information when they were fighting and wouldn't ever let him get a word in edgewise, and she essentially ran circles around him because that is not his energy. Even though he's a Gemini sun, I believe that she was drawn to him because she has her Chiron in Gemini. She was drawn to a Gemini sun, which meant that she had the opportunity to learn from him in that area of her life and transcend her Chiron placement, that transcendence opportunity. But because she chose not to, because she's still unhealed, hasn't faced it yet, maybe is unaware of it, she became very toxic. This was the perfect little petri dish of toxicity, to be honest, you guys. It really was. This is the perfect textbook example. Great setup for toxicity. Other things that we should look for when it comes to an unhealed Chiron and Gemini wound: manipulation, gossip, ruthlessness. I think I'm going to say, I think we can all see that playing out. I do think that Amber Heard is being absolutely ruthless. Also, something bizarre. So on the first day of the hearings, Johnny Depp wore a Gucci tie, and then days later, maybe it was the next day or days later, I don't remember, but after him, essentially what's important is that it was after he wore that, then she wore the same exact tie, same exact Gucci tie, but in a dark color. What? And it had the B on it. What? That is so weird. You know what I mean? Of all the things that you could wear, why would you dress like the person that you're essentially going to court? That is just so manipulative and bizarre. And that is the unhealed Gemini Chiron wound in action, you guys. I rest my case, okay? Chiron in Pisces. This is Johnny's placement. I'm going to end on this because I think that it's some way that we can frame this up positively and learn from this. Chiron in Pisces, people, when they have this placement, They are healing from victimhood, escapism, and learning to stand strong in their own beliefs, choices, and the actions that they take. They're learning to trust their logic instead of doubt themselves. And they have to face their pain and trauma rather than escaping via various methods. One of them that comes to mind, especially for Johnny Depp, is addiction. So he has had addiction issues that has been spoken about in this case, and he has tried to heal his addiction issues. No one except for Amber Heard has reported that he has had anger issues. So that's a big deal. Part of Johnny's journey to healing is to learn to face his trauma, face his feelings. Pisces is a very emotional water sign energy. So rather than escaping via drugs, alcohol, and also one of the counselors did say that both Johnny and Amber have suffered emotional abuse and different abuse as children. Amber from her father, Johnny from his mother. So I see, based on their birth charts and based on what I've heard, through following this trial, following this case, I do think that the toxic element did come from like them shifting into this energy where Amber became like the verbal abuser and Johnny became the victim, and he was forced to really face his like escapism, his denial of, himself, and embrace his logic, embrace trusting in himself, realizing that he doesn't need to stand for this. And one of the best things that people with this placement can do is to face their bully, face their difficulties, and stand up for themselves and for what is right. So I do think that that's why Johnny filed this defamation suit. I think that that actually shows that he is healing his Chiron and Pisces wound. And in doing so, again, like I said, when you heal your own wound, you're able to help, be an example for others. I think that he's also going to strengthen other men who have dealt with domestic abuse. Men do experience domestic abuse, and it's not something that's always talked about. So I think that this is something that is playing out in the public eye for a reason. And yeah, I wish both of them the best. I hope that Amber, is able to see herself a different way via this trial. Maybe she's going to finally be able to see that blind spot of her Chiron and Gemini, the way that she has been manipulative, been verbally abusive, gossipy, ruthless. But who knows, if she does have a mental health disorder, that may be something that is a different journey for her. Okay, that's that on that. Wow. All right, so you guys, now I want us to talk about, let's switch gears, take a little right turn, because you guys, it's Taurus season. So my material girls, my practical grounded babes, my priority driven honeys, you guys, it's your time. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys about the general vibe of Taurus season so that you know how to use it, you know where to focus your energy, and then I'm going to give a mini scope for each sign.